Leah's heels sank into the gravel path like anchors, dragging her back to a life she thought she'd escaped. The estate sprawled before her. A modernist fortress of glass and stone perched on the cliffs of Marin County, where the Pacific crashed against the shore like a lover scorned. She had come for the job. A personal assistant role to the reclusive CEO of Nexus Innovations. But as the massive oak door creaked open, the woman standing there whispered words that shattered the facade. "You look just like you did that summer, Leah. Like you never left me at all." Leah froze, her breath catching in the salt-laced air. Evelyn. Not the husband she had researched obsessively on LinkedIn, with his sharp suits and sharper patents, but Evelyn Voss, the wife whose face had haunted Leah's dreams for 8 years. The same porcelain skin, the cascade of raven hair now streaked with elegant silver, those hazel eyes that could unravel a soul with a single glance. Evelyn wore a simple silk blouse in dove gray, unbuttoned just enough to reveal the delicate gold chain Leah had once fastened around her neck in the dim light of a vineyard dorm room. This is the interview," Leah stammered, clutching her leather portfolio like a shield. Her voice, usually steady from years of pitching art installations in dingy San Francisco galleries, cracked like thin ice. The ad had been vague. Discreet assistant for a high-profile family. Salary that could erase her mounting debts from a failed solo exhibit. She needed this. Needed the escape from her cramped Mission District apartment, the endless cycle of barista shifts and rejected grant applications. But Evelyn's smile, soft and knowing, carried the weight of summers stolen and secrets buried. "Come inside," Evelyn said, her tone a velvet command, stepping aside to reveal the sun-drenched foyer. Marble floors gleamed under chandeliers that looked like frozen waterfalls, and the air hummed with the faint scent of jasmine from the courtyard beyond. Leah followed, her pulse thundering, memories flooding unbidden, tangled sheets in a rented Cape Cod house, Evelyn's laughter echoing against weathered shingles, the taste of salt on her skin after midnight swims. They had been 20, reckless, convinced that love like theirs could rewrite the stars. Until Evelyn chose the golden path, Stanford MBA, the tech wunderkind husband, a life polished to perfection. Leah had been the wild card, the painter with paint-stained hands and a heart too wild for picket fences. Evelyn led her to a sunlit office overlooking the ocean, where floor-to-ceiling windows framed the endless blue. No desk cluttered with resumes. Instead, a low teak table held a single crystal vase of white roses, their petals etched in crimson. "Sit," Evelyn urged, gesturing to a leather armchair that swallowed Leah whole. She perched on the edge, smoothing her slacks, hyper-aware of the way Evelyn's gaze lingered on the scar above her eyebrow, the one from that night they crashed a frat party, glass shattering as they fled hand in hand. "You didn't mention it was you," Leah said finally, forcing steel into her words. "The posting. It was anonymous." Evelyn settled across from her, crossing her legs with the grace of someone who owned boardrooms and bedrooms alike. 42. She was more striking than Leah remembered. Lines around her eyes speaking of laughter and loss in equal measure. "Would you have come if you knew? Or would you have run again? Like you did from Boston?" The question hung between them, sharp as a scalpel. Leah's throat tightened. She had run. Yes, after the engagement announcement in the alumni newsletter. After the voicemail Evelyn never returned. Packed her brushes and canvases into a beat-up Subaru and driven west, chasing horizons that always seemed just out of reach. The interview unfolded like a dream turned interrogation. Evelyn asked about Leah's resume, the MFA from RISD, the murals in Oakland community centers, the string of odd jobs that kept the lights on. But woven through the questions were threads of the past. "Tell me about your latest piece," Evelyn prompted, leaning forward. "The one about fractured identities. Does it still bleed with that rawness I loved?" Leah swallowed, describing the installation, a shattered mirror maze reflecting distorted faces, symbolizing the masks we wear for love. Evelyn nodded, her fingers tracing the rim of her coffee cup, steam curling like ghosts. "And what fractures you now, Leah? What secret brings you to my door, begging for scraps from a life you once called too small for us?" It was the word secret that ignited the spark. Leah's hands trembled as she set down her portfolio. "I don't have secrets. I have bills. A landlord who doesn't care about my artistic vision. This job, it's a lifeline. Evelyn. Not a reunion tour." Evelyn's laugh was low, almost mournful. "Oh, darling. You always did underestimate the pull of fate. Or was it fear?" She rose then, crossing to the window, her silhouette etched against the crashing waves. The estate felt alive around them, whispers of wealth in the distant hum of a pool filter, the faint clink of ice from a butler's pantry. Outside, the cliffs dropped sharply to the sea, a reminder of how easily one could fall. Leah stood, drawn inexorably closer. The air between them crackled, charged with 8 years of silence. "Why me?" she whispered. "Out of all the applicants, you could have anyone." Evelyn turned, her eyes locking onto Leah's with an intensity that stole the breath from the room. "Because I never stopped watching you. Your exhibits in the Chronicle. That viral street art in the Tenderloin. The woman with wings clipped by golden chains. It was us, wasn't it? Painted across a brick wall for the world to see. But only I knew." Her hand reached out, brushing Leah's arm, a touch so light it might have been wind. But it wasn't. It was fire. Leah pulled back, heart slamming against her ribs. "This is dangerous. Your husband, Elliot's in Tokyo, closing a deal that could buy this county twice over." Evelyn's voice dropped, intimate as a confession. "He doesn't see me, Leah. Not like you did. No one does." The vulnerability in her words cracked something in Leah, a dam holding back the tide of old affections. She wanted to flee, to chalk this up to a cosmic joke and slink back to her easel. But Evelyn's gaze held her, promising depths she had forgotten how to swim. "What do you want from me?" Leah asked, voice barely above the waves. Evelyn stepped closer, her perfume, jasmine and sandalwood, enveloping them. "Everything. And nothing. Stay for dinner. Let me show you the gardens. Pretend. For one night. That time hasn't carved us hollow." Leah hesitated, the portfolio slipping from her fingers to the floor. Papers scattered like fallen leaves, sketches, references, a faded photo of her and a college friend, arms slung around each other in drunken joy. Evelyn knelt to gather them, her fingers lingering on the photo. "Her?" she asked softly. "Roommate." "Long gone." Leah crouched beside her, their knees brushing. The proximity was intoxicating, a drug she had sworn off. "You. Never." Evelyn's admission was a whisper, her breath warm against Leah's cheek. They rose together, the moment stretching taut as a canvas. Outside, the sun dipped lower, painting the room in amber hues that mirrored the ache in Leah's chest. Dinner was a revelation. The chef, a quiet man named Marco, prepared seared scallops with heirloom tomatoes from the estate's greenhouse, paired with a crisp Sauvignon Blanc from Napa. They ate on the terrace, fairy lights twinkling like stars brought to earth, the ocean a symphony below. Conversation flowed like the wine. Safe topics at first: Leah's love for capturing urban decay on canvas, Evelyn's quiet philanthropy funding women's shelters in the Bay Area. But beneath it simmered the undercurrent. Glances lingering too long. Silences heavy with what-ifs. "Tell me about the scar," Evelyn said midway through, her fork pausing over a bite of arugula salad. Her eyes traced the faint line above Leah's brow. A map to a memory. Leah touched it absently, the skin smooth under her fingertip. "That party. The one where we decided to crash the Dean's Gala. You dared me to steal the punch bowl." Evelyn's smile was nostalgic, tinged with sorrow. "And you did. With that grin like you owned the night. Glass broke when security chased us. Your forehead caught the edge. I cleaned it in the bathroom sink. My hands shaking because I thought I'd lost you. You didn't lose me then." Leah's voice was steady, but her heart raced. "You lost me later." Evelyn set down her fork, the clink echoing. "I chose safety. Leah. Elliot was stability. A future my parents could toast at country club brunches. But every vow I spoke echoed with your name." The confession hung there, raw and unadorned. Leah reached across the table, her fingers intertwining with Evelyn's, callous from brushes against soft from boardroom handshakes. The touch was electric, a bridge across the chasm of years. "And now," Leah breathed. "Now, I want to remember what it feels like to be alive." Evelyn's thumb stroked the back of Leah's hand, slow circles that ignited sparks up her arm. They lingered after dessert, a shared tiramisu that Evelyn fed her in teasing spoonfuls, laughter bubbling up like forgotten springs. The night air cooled, carrying the cry of gulls, and Leah felt the estate's isolation wrap around them like a cocoon. No judgments here. No prying eyes from the city below. Just two women reclaiming stolen moments. As Marco cleared the plates, Evelyn stood, extending her hand. "Walk with me. The bluff at night, it's magic." Leah took it, their palms fitting like puzzle pieces long separated. They wandered the paths lined with agave and lavender, the moon rising full and silver over the water. Evelyn spoke of her life, the empty echoes of galas, the son now 10, who asked why mommy's eyes were sad even on Christmas. Leah shared her struggles, the gallery that ghosted her after a queer-themed show, the ex who called her too intense before vanishing into LA's haze. At the cliff's edge, where a wrought iron bench overlooked the void, they sat close, shoulders touching. The wind whipped Evelyn's hair, and Leah tucked a strand behind her ear, the gesture intimate, automatic. "I came here for a job," Leah murmured. "Not this." Evelyn turned, her face illuminated by moonlight, shadows pooling in the hollows of her cheeks. "Then take the job. Be near me. Let me make amends for the girl I left behind." Leah's resolve crumbled. The pull was magnetic, undeniable. She leaned in, their lips brushing in a kiss that tasted of wine and regret, soft at first, then deepening with the hunger of lost time. Evelyn's hands framed her face, thumbs tracing the scar. the kiss a vow unspoken. They broke apart, breathless, foreheads resting together. "This could destroy us both," Leah whispered. "Or remake us," Evelyn replied, her voice fierce with hope. As they walked back, arms linked, Leah glanced at the estate's glowing windows, a fortress now feeling like home. The job was hers. She knew, offered not on merit alone, but on the secret that bound them. But in that binding, she sensed the storm to come, Elliot's return, the world's unforgiving gaze, the fractures neither could fully mend. Yet for tonight, under the Marin stars, it was enough. The days blurred into a rhythm that felt both foreign and achingly familiar. Leah moved into the guest cottage on the estate's edge, a whimsical A-frame with skylights perfect for late-night sketching. Its walls lined with books Evelyn insisted she borrow. The job was a dream on paper, mornings organizing Evelyn's schedule, afternoons tending the library's rare first editions, evenings free to paint in the sun-dappled studio Evelyn had converted from an old boathouse. Salary deposited like clockwork, enough to pay off her student loans and stock her fridge with fresh produce from the farm stand down the road. But the undercurrent was the secret they shared, a current pulling them deeper with each glance, each accidental brush of fingers over a shared teacup. Breakfasts became ritual, Leah joining Evelyn in the sunroom, where they pored over agendas amid plates of avocado toast and poached eggs. "Cancel the luncheon with the venture capitalists," Evelyn would say, her foot nudging Leah's under the table, a silent code for "stay with me instead." Leah complied, her loyalty shifting from task lists to the woman who haunted her sleep. Nights were stolen fragments of paradise. After Elliot's calls from Asia, terse updates on fusion energy deals, Evelyn would slip away to the cottage, her knock soft as a heartbeat. They talked for hours, Leah unrolling canvases on the floor, Evelyn tracing lines with her fingertip, commenting on the swirl of blues that captured ocean rage. "This is how you felt leaving me," Evelyn murmured one evening, her head on Leah's lap as rain pattered the roof. Leah's fingers combed through her hair, silver strands catching the lamplight like threads of moonlight. "It's how we both felt," Leah corrected gently, her voice thick with the weight of truth. Vulnerability was their new language, halting at first, then fluent. Evelyn confessed the isolation of her marriage, Elliot's genius a wall, his affections clinical as a patent filing. "He loves me like a possession," she said, eyes distant, priceless. But behind glass, Leah shared her own scars, the string of flings in San Francisco bars, women who saw her intensity as a phase, not a fire. "I built walls too," she admitted. "Paint became my lover because it didn't leave." Their physical reconnection was tentative, reverent. The first full night came after a storm, thunder rumbling like distant applause. Evelyn arrived soaked, towel drying her hair in the cottage doorway. "I couldn't sleep," she said simply. Leah pulled her inside, their kiss igniting slow, like embers fanned to flame. Clothes shed in whispers, bodies rediscovering maps long faded. Evelyn's skin was softer now, marked by faint stretch marks from pregnancy, a cesarean scar like a crescent moon. Leah kissed it, honoring the life it birthed, the sacrifices Evelyn had made in a world that demanded perfection. They made love on the worn Persian rug, firelight dancing across their forms. Evelyn arched beneath her, gasps turning to please, her nails digging crescents into Leah's shoulders. "Don't stop," she breathed, as if Leah ever could. It was more than release, it was reclamation. Each touch erasing the years of drought. Afterward, tangled in sheets scented with lavender, Evelyn traced Leah's tattoos, a cluster of stars on her ribcage, inked after their breakup. For the nights we wished on them, Leah explained. Evelyn's tears fell hot on her chest. I wished you'd come back. I almost did, Leah whispered. Twice. Once in Boston. Outside your wedding venue. I stood in the rain, watching you walk down the aisle. And again, 2 years ago, at that gala in the city. You were across the room, laughing with donors. I turned away. Evelyn lifted her head. Ice fierce. Why? Because loving you hurt too much to half do it. The admission hung, raw and unvarnished. They held each other through the night, the storm outside mirroring the one within, passionate, unrelenting, but promising renewal. By day, Leah immersed in the estate's rhythms. She met the staff, Rosa the housekeeper, with stories of her family's migration from Oaxaca, Theo the groundskeeper, a Vietnam vet who taught her to prune roses without mercy. Cut deep, or they choke, he said, shears snipping decisively. Leah applied it to her sketches, slashing away the safe lines for bolder strokes. Evelyn noticed, commissioning a portrait for the foyer. Not of me, she specified. Of us. Abstract. But true. The painting emerged over weeks. Layers of ochre and indigo evoking intertwined forms against a stormy sea. Leah worked in the boathouse. Windows open to the bay's briny breath. Evelyn visiting with thermoses of coffee and quiet encouragement. It's beautiful, Evelyn said one afternoon, standing behind her, arms wrapping Leah's waist. Their reflection in the canvas blurred, lover and muse, boundaries dissolving. But cracks appeared, subtle as hairlines in porcelain. Elliot's return loomed, his flight landing in 3 days. Evelyn grew distant during calls, her laughter forced, voice pitching higher for his benefit. Yes, darling. The estate's thriving. Hired a new assistant. She's a godsend. Leah overheard from the kitchen, a knife pausing mid-chop on heirloom carrots. Godsend. The word twisted. A reminder of her place. Employee first, paramour second. That evening, over rosemary lamb in the dining hall, tension simmered. Evelyn poured Merlot, her hand unsteady. He'll like you, she assured. You're poised, intelligent. He'll see why I chose you. Leah speared a mint leaf. Appetite fled. Chose me for what? The spreadsheets or the secrets? The question slipped out sharper than intended, laced with the old fear of being the shadow lover. Evelyn's fork clattered. Both. Isn't that enough? Her eyes pleaded. But Leah saw the flicker guilt. Or something darker. They finished in silence, the clock ticking like a metronome to impending doom. Later, in the cottage, reconciliation came fierce. Evelyn pushed Leah against the door, kiss demanding, hands roaming with desperate need. You're not a secret, she growled between breaths. You're my truth. They tumbled to the bed, bodies colliding in a frenzy that bordered on violence, teeth grazing collarbones, hips grinding with unspoken fury. Climax shattered them, leaving bruises blooming like accusations. As dawn crept in, Evelyn dressed hurriedly, smoothing her blouse. I have a board meeting in the city. Stay safe. Her kiss was fleeting. A brush of lips that felt like goodbye. Leah lay awake after, staring at the ceiling beams etched with heart carvings from previous tenants. Doubt crept in, cold as fog off the bay. Was this love? Or a gilded cage? She rose, pulling on a robe, and wandered to her easel. The portrait stared back. Half finished, two figures merging into one. But the edges frayed, threatening to tear. The next morning brought a delivery. A package from Evelyn, wrapped in butcher paper, tied with twine. Inside, a leather-bound journal, its pages filled with Evelyn's script, poems from their college days, pressed flowers from Cape Cod walks, a press ticket stub from a midnight showing of Carol in Provincetown. Tucked in the back, a note, for the woman who paints my silences. Forgive me for the ones I can't voice yet. Leah's chest ached, tears blurring the ink. She spent the day in the studio, finishing the portrait with feverish strokes, adding veins of gold to bind the figures, a testament to endurance. When Evelyn returned that evening, flushed from traffic, Leah unveiled it. For the foyer, she said. Or the fire. Your call. Evelyn's breath hitched, fingers tracing the canvas. It's us. Whole. She pulled Leah close, their embrace a harbor against the gathering storm. Elliot arrives tomorrow. Dinner at 7. Be yourself. That's all I need. Leah nodded. But sleep evaded her that night. Dreams tangled. Evelyn in white lace, walking away. Leah chasing shadows across cliffs. A faceless man with Elliot's voice, whispering thief. She woke sweating. The journal clutched to her chest like a talisman. The day passed in preparations. Leah selecting wines from the cellar, arranging charcuterie with Rose's help. Evelyn flitted about, a whirlwind of silk and perfume, her touches lingering, a squeeze of the hand in the hallway, a whispered "You look stunning," as Leah slipped into an emerald dress borrowed from Evelyn's closet. Elliot's helicopter thrummed overhead at dusk, rotors slicing the sky like judgments. He descended the steps in a tailored blazer, salt and pepper hair windswept, carrying a bottle of vintage scotch. Tall, angular, with eyes like polished steel. Evelyn, he greeted, kissing her cheek with proprietary ease. Then, to Leah, you must be the new addition. Charmed. His handshake was firm, assessing. Leah met his gaze, chin lifted. Leah Harper. Welcome home. Dinner unfolded with practiced grace, crystal glasses clinking, candlelight gilding the silver. Elliot dominated, regaling them with Tokyo tales, neon nights, Billionaire handshakes. Evelyn interjected with smiles, her foot finding Leah's under the table, an anchor in the tide. Leah contributed sparingly, her wit drawing Elliot's approval. An artist. We need more creativity in this house of circuits. As cognac circulated, conversation turned personal. How'd you two meet? Elliot asked, swirling his glass. Evelyn's smile faltered, a split-second fracture. College. Overlapping circles, art and engineering. Leah's pulse spiked. Truth. Failed. She was the one who convinced me to major in something practical, she quipped, earning laughs. Elliot leaned back, praising. Evelyn's always had an eye for talent. Keeps me grounded. His gaze on his wife was fond, but distant, like admiring a fine sculpture. Later, as Leah cleared plates, Elliot cornered her in the pantry. "She's happier since you arrived," he said quietly. "Thank you." The sincerity disarmed her. A glimpse of the man beneath the mogul. But in bed that night, Evelyn clung to her in the cottage, body trembling. "He suspects nothing. But I feel it, all of it, crushing." Leah held her, rocking gently, humming an old lullaby from their vineyard days. "We'll navigate," she promised. "Together." Yet as Evelyn slipped away before dawn, Leah wondered if together was a map or a mirage. Elliot's presence reshaped the estate like a stone dropped in still water, ripples distorting the fragile equilibrium Leah and Evelyn had forged. Mornings now included him at the breakfast table, dissecting market reports over black coffee, his questions probing Leah's role with casual intensity. "What's your take on sustainable tech, Leah? Evelyn says you're insightful." She parried with thoughts gleaned from Evelyn's clippings: solar innovations, ethical AI, earning nods that felt like tests passed. Evelyn watched from across the table, her smiles tight, foot no longer seeking Leah's in silent solidarity. Afternoons brought family excursions, hikes along the coastal trails, where Elliot hoisted their son, Miles, onto his shoulders, the boys' laughter a bright counterpoint to the undercurrents. Leah tagged along as assistant, carrying water bottles and sketching wildflowers in her notebook. Miles, with his mother's hazel eyes and father's sharp chin, took to her immediately, begging for stories of city adventures, his small hands slipping into hers on rocky paths. "Draw me a dragon, Leah," he'd plead, and she'd oblige with quick charcoal strokes, the beast fierce yet protective. Evelyn's gratitude came in stolen moments, a shared glance over Miles's head, heavy with promise, a brush of fingers when passing the sunscreen. But the distance grew. Evenings, Elliot claimed her for debriefs in his study, hours of low voices behind closed doors, punctuated by laughter that twisted in Leah's gut like barbed wire. She retreated to the boathouse, brush in hand, channeling the turmoil into the portrait's edges, now jagged, threatening to sever the entwined figures. One twilight, as Leah packed away paints, Evelyn appeared, silhouetted in the doorway, a bottle of chilled Prosecco in hand. "Join us?" she asked, but her eyes begged escape. Elliot was hosting investors at the main house, a barbecue under string lights, the air thick with cigar smoke and venture patter. Leah hesitated, wiping cerulean from her knuckles. "Not my scene. Go play hostess." Evelyn crossed the threshold, setting the bottle on the work table. "It's suffocating. All these men in khakis, measuring success in exits and valuations." She poured 2 flutes, handing one over with a wry smile. "To the outsiders," they clinked, the bubbles sharp on Leah's tongue. Conversation meandered to lighter shores. Miles's latest obsession with dinosaurs, a fossil dig Evelyn planned for his birthday. But the wine loosened tongues, and truth surfaced. "He wants another child," Evelyn confessed, staring at the canvas. "Says it's time to build the legacy." Her voice cracked, fingers tightening on the stem. "I can't. Not with him. It would trap me forever." Leah set her glass down, stepping close. "Then don't. You're more than his air factory." Her hand cupped Evelyn's cheek, thumb wiping a stray tear. The touch ignited. As always, Evelyn leaning in, lips parting in invitation. They kissed, slow and deep, the boathouse enveloping them in creaking wood and sea-scented dusk. Evelyn's hand slid under Leah's shirt, tracing rips, eliciting shivers that had nothing to do with the chill. "Not here," Leah murmured, even as her body betrayed her, arching into the caress. "They're just up the hill." Evelyn pulled back, eyes dark with frustration. "When? Then? He's home now." Every room echoes with his presence. She paced, agitation coiling like smoke. "I feel like a ghost in my own life." "Leah. You're the only solid thing." The words pierced. A bomb and a blade. Leah drew her into an embrace, holding tight as sobs shook Evelyn's frame. "We'll find time." The cottage. Weekends when he's golfing in Pebble Beach. Practicalities, but laced with desperation. They parted with a final kiss, Evelyn slipping away to the party, her laughter soon carrying on the wind manufactured for the crowd. Leah lingered, finishing the Prosecco alone, the portrait mocking her from the easel. The figures now gazed outward, toward a horizon fractured by lightning. She added a single stroke, a hand reaching from the storm. Tentative. Hopeful. The barbecue dragged into night, bass from a jazz quartet thumping through the cliffs. Leah avoided it, curling up with a novel in the cottage. But Miles appeared at her door past bedtime, pajamas rumpled, clutching a stuffed triceratops. "Can't sleep. Daddy's friends are loud." His lower lip trembled, hazel eyes wide. Leah scooped him up, settling on the couch with hot cocoa. "Dragons fear thunder too," she said, launching into a tale of a beast who braved a tempest to save his herd. Miles nestled against her, thumb in mouth, drifting off mid-roar. She carried him back to the main house, navigating dimly lit halls, the party's din muffled behind closed doors. Evelyn met her in the foyer, wine-flushed. "Dress askew." "Thank you," she whispered, taking Miles's limp form. Their eyes met over his curls, a spark in the shadows. "Stay for a nightcap?" Elliot's voice boomed from the terrace. "Ev, where's the boy?" Evelyn tensed, handing Miles off to Rosa, who materialized like a sentinel. "Go," she urged Leah, "before he sees." The dismissal stung, but Leah nodded, retreating to the cottage. Sleep came fitful. Dreams of parties where she danced on the periphery, always the outsider. Dawn brought confrontation. Elliot knocked on the cottage door, coffee in hand, casual in joggers and a TechCon polo. "Mind a walk? Need fresh air after last night." Leah agreed, wary, pulling on sneakers. They ambled the bluff trail, fog cloaking the sea in mystery. "You're good with him," Elliot said after a stretch of silence, tossing a pebble over the edge. "Miles. He talks about your stories nonstop." Leah shrugged, wind tugging her hair. "Kids are easy. Honest." He chuckled, but his eyes sharpened. "Evelyn's been lighter since you. It's like you've unlocked something." The words hung, ambiguous gratitude or probe. "She's remarkable," Leah replied carefully. "Just needed space to breathe." Elliot nodded, gaze on the horizon. "Marriage is a merger. You know, as it liabilities. I forget the human part sometimes. Vulnerability from the Titan. Unexpected. Don't let my world harden you." "Leah. It's a trap." The advice lingered as he veered toward the gym, leaving her to ponder. Was he warning her? Or himself? Evelyn found her in the greenhouse that afternoon, amid ferns and orchids heavy with dew. "What did he say?" she asked, voice edged with anxiety. "Secateurs clipping a wilted bloom." Leah related, watching Evelyn's face cycle through relief to resolve. "He's perceptive. But blind to this." She gestured between them, closing the distance. Their kiss was urgent, hands fisting fabric, the glass walls steaming with their heat. They didn't go further, too risky in daylight, but the promise thrummed, a pulse beneath the soil. That evening, Elliot announced a trip, DC for policy summits, a week away. "Hold the fort," he told Leah with a wink. "You're indispensable." The word echoed as he departed at dawn, chopper fading into mist. Evelyn wasted no time, arriving at the cottage with a picnic basket and a gleam in her eye. "Ours," she declared, spreading a blanket on the floor. They feasted on strawberries and brie, feeding each other bites between kisses that escalated, clothes discarded in a trail to the bed. The week was idle, mornings tangled in sheets, afternoons exploring hidden coves by kayak, evenings with Miles building sandcastles on private beaches. Leah taught him to mix paints, his chubby fingers smearing chaos on newsprint. "Like Mommy's heart," he said solemnly, pointing to a red swirl. Evelyn laughed, but her eyes misted, pulling Leah aside for a stolen embrace in the laundry room, door locked against the world. Yet paradise bred its own shadows. One night, post-lovemaking, Evelyn's phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "Miss our talks. Coffee soon, Jay." She deleted it swiftly, but Leah saw the green bubble searing her vision. "Who's Jay?" she asked, casual as she could muster, tracing patterns on Evelyn's thigh. Evelyn stiffened, then sighed. "Old friend. Juliana. From the board. Harmless flirting. Pre-you." The explanation rang half true, jealousy coiling in Leah's belly like kudzu. Flirting. Past tense. Evelyn rolled to face her, hand on Leah's heart. "You're my present. My future. If you'll have the mess of it." Leah wanted to believe, sinking into the kiss that followed, fierce, reaffirming. But doubt seeded, a quiet rot. Elliot's return shattered the bubble. He arrived bearing gifts, a rare Monet print for the library, a fossil kit for Miles, a diamond bracelet for Evelyn that caught the light like captured stars. Dinner was celebratory, but Leah excused herself early, pleading a headache. In the cottage, she sketched feverishly, the portrait now complete, figures separated by a chasm, bridges burning. Evelyn came later, slipping under the covers. "He's suspicious," she whispered. "Asked why you avoid him." "Tell him the truth," Leah retorted, sharper than intended. "Or part of it." Evelyn's silence was answer enough. They made love anyway, bodies seeking what words withheld. But the afterglow felt dimmed, trust fraying at the seams. The next day, Leah discovered the journal's last page, a poem Evelyn wrote post-wedding. Lines of longing for the girl with storm eyes who taught me to drown willingly. Tucked beside it, a photo, their younger selves, arms around waist, grinning at a vineyard bonfire. Leah's throat tightened. It was a lifeline. Or a noose. Confrontation brewed that afternoon in the library. Elliot summoned her for efficiency review, but his questions veered personal. Evelyn speaks of you like family. What's your history? Leah's pulse thundered. Friends. From school. He leaned back, steepling fingers. She needs that. More than she admits. Pause. Heavy. So do I. Watch over her. Leah. For both our sakes. The plea disoriented. Blurring lines. Was he ally or adversary? As he left for a call, Evelyn entered. Face ashen. He knows something. Not us, but the unhappiness. Then leave, Leah urged. Reckless. With me. We could start over. Portland. Maybe. Rainy days in galleries. Evelyn's laugh was bitter. With what? My settlement? He'd paint me the villain. Alienate Miles. She cupped Leah's face. Desperate. I need time. Please. Time. The thief that had stolen them once. Leah nodded. But inside, resolve hardened, a quiet vow to fight. Or flee. That night, as thunder rolled in from the Pacific, Leah added final touches to the portrait. A single thread, gold and unbroken, weaving through the chasm. Hope? Fragile as spider silk. The thread of hope frayed under the weight of routine's return. Elliot's schedule intensified. Late nights in the war room. Holographic projections of data streams flickering like ghosts. Evelyn played the perfect consort. Attending galas in the city. Her social media curated with images of power couples. Arms linked at fundraisers. Captions touting partnerships that changed the world. Leah scrolled through them in the cottage. Thumb hovering over likes. The glow casting harsh shadows on her sketches. Jealousy morphed into vigilance. She noted the texts Evelyn dismissed. Jay again. Innocuous invites to networking drinks. Intercepted mail. Invitations to alumni events where old flames might flicker. It's nothing, Evelyn insisted during a hurried lunch in the greenhouse. Her secretary snipping roses with unnecessary force. Jealousy doesn't suit you. Leah. It's beneath us. Us. Leah echoed. Thorns pricking her palm from a clipped stem. Or the facade. Evelyn's eyes flashed. Setting the shears down. This is survival. For Miles. For the life we've built. Flawed as it is. She reached across the potting bench. But Leah pulled back. The space between them widening like a rift. Survival. The word echoed in Leah's mind that evening. As she attended a staff dinner in the Great Hall, her first. At Rosa's insistence. Laughter flowed with paella and sangria. Stories of estate lore. The time Elliot's prototype drone crashed the rose arbor. Or Evelyn's midnight baking sprees during storms. Theo clapped Leah on the back. You fit here. Girl. Like you were always meant to. The warmth clashed with the chill in her chest. Later. Clearing glasses. She overheard Elliot and Evelyn in the study. Door ajar. You're distant, he said. Voice low. Is it the assistant? Harper. Evelyn's reply was silk over steel. Leah's a breath of fresh air. That's all. Pause. Then Elliot. Good. We need that. But remember. Boundaries. The word landed like a gavel. Leah slipped away. Heart pounding. Retreating to the boathouse. The portrait mocked her from its easel. The golden thread now snapped. ends curling like accusations. She slashed over it with black, grief spilling in broad strokes, the canvas weeping tar. Evelyn found her there at midnight, rain lashing the windows. I heard you leave. She crossed the room, arms wrapping from behind, chin on Leah's shoulder. It wasn't what you think. Leah turned, paint-smeared hands gripping Evelyn's arms. Boundaries. He said it like I'm the threat. Like our love is a glitch in his system. Evelyn winced, but held firm. He's protective of the family, not us. Her kiss was apology, soft and seeking, but Leah resisted. Anger a shield. Then make him see. Or end it. The ultimatum escaped, born of exhaustion. Evelyn recoiled, eyes wide with hurt. You think it's that simple? Walk away from everything. Her voice rose, echoing off the beams. I have a son. Leah. A home. You could leave tomorrow. Paint your heart out in some loft. I envy that freedom. Envy. Leah laughed. Hollow. I came here chained by debt, by dreams deferred. This us was supposed to be liberation, not another cage. They stood inches apart. Rain a roar between breaths. Evelyn's hand trembled as she touched Leah's cheek. I love you. More than the life I have. But love isn't enough when fear rules. The admission cracked the dam. Leah pulled her close. Kiss bruising. A clash of need and fury. They stumbled to the daybed in the corner, bodies entwining with desperate grace. Evelyn's gasps muffled against Leah's neck, hands mapping scars like sacred texts. It was catharsis, release in the storm. But dawn brought no clarity, only tangled limbs and unspoken truces. The gala in San Francisco marked the turning point. Evelyn insisted Leah accompany her, as +1 assistant, a velvet rope around the invite. The venue was opulent. The De Young Museum after hours, Warhol prints glowing under spotlights, champagne flutes circulating like liquid gold. Evelyn shone in emerald silk, a necklace of emeralds at her throat, Elliot's gift. Leah noted with a twist. She herself wore a borrowed black sheath. Simple. Her auburn waves pinned loosely, the scar a subtle defiance. Elliot was absent, sequestered in D.C. still. But his shadow loomed via texts Evelyn checked obsessively. He loves these events, she murmured as they entered, arm linked with Leah's. Sends proxies when he can't. The crowd was a sea of venture vultures and philanthropist peacocks, tech bros in bespoke suits, actresses with causes. Evelyn navigated with ease, introducing Leah as my indispensable right hand. Whispers followed, curiosity about the artist in their midst, speculation on her influence. Then, Juliana appeared. Tall, blonde, with a laugh like champagne fizz. She air-kissed Evelyn, lingering. Ev, darling. It's been ages. Who's this vision? Her eyes raked Leah. Appreciative. Predatory. Leah Harper. My collaborator. Evelyn's hand tightened on Leah's elbow. Possessive. Juliana's smile sharpened. Artist. Right? Saw your tenderloin piece. Edgy. We should talk. My gallery in Soma could use fresh blood. The offer dangled. Baited hook. Leah accepted a card. Polite. But her gaze flicked to Evelyn, who had paled. Later, on the balcony overlooking the foggy bay, Confrontation brewed. She's nothing, Evelyn hissed, as Juliana circulated below. A flirt from board meetings. Widowed now. Clings too tight. Then why the texts? Leah pressed. Voice low. Coffee invites aren't networking. Evelyn leaned on the railing. City lights blurring in her eyes. Because she sees the cracks. Offers escape. Like you do. But it's illusion. With her. It's safe, no real heart at stake. The words wounded deeper than intended. And with me? Am I the risk you're too scared to take? Evelyn turned. Tears silver in the neon glow. You're everything. That's why it terrifies me. She kissed Leah then. Hidden by potted palms. A desperate claim amid the murmur of elites. They returned inside. But the night soured. Juliana cornered Evelyn during the auction, bidding on a Basquiat with aggressive winks. Leah watched from afar, nursing a gin, as laughter peeled too intimate, too easy. When Evelyn extricated herself, face flushed, Leah confronted her in the coat room. Go to her, she said. Voice steel. If safe's what you want. Evelyn's slap was light, more shock than strike, her hand flying to her mouth. How dare you? This is my prison. Leah. Not a choice. The drive home was silent, fog cloaking the Golden Gate like a shroud. The estate. Evelyn stormed to the main house, door slamming. Leah wandered the cliffs, wind whipping tears, the sea of black mob below. She thought of jumping not literally, but metaphorically, leaping into the unknown. Alone. Dawn found her in the boathouse, destroying the portrait. Knife through canvas, shreds fluttering like confetti of failure. Rosa discovered her there, sweeping up fragments. Art heals. Mija, she said softly, handing a broom. But so does time. Evelyn's apology came via note, slipped under the cottage door. Forgive my fear. Meet me tonight. The Cove. Bring your heart. Leah went. Basket of sandwiches and a new sketch pad in tow. The beach was silvered by moon, waves lapping like whispers. Evelyn waited by the tide pools, barefoot in a sundress, hair loose. I ended it, she said, holding up her phone, deleted contacts, blocked numbers. All of it. The safe pass. I choose you. They talked till stars wheeled. Evelyn unburdening. The pressure of legacy. The guilt of wanting more. Leah shared her own, the fear of being the other woman, forever sidelined. I want mornings with you. Not stolen nights. Evelyn nodded. Resolve hardening. Then we'll plan. Divorce papers. Quiet. Co-parenting with Elliot. He's reasonable. Beneath it all. Hope flickered. Tentative. They made love on the sand. Gentle this time. Waves anointing their union. Blanket wrapped. They dreamed aloud. A home in Point Reyes. Leah's studio by the sea. Miles visiting with tales of fossils. But reality intruded at breakfast. Elliot. Back early. Announced over eggs. Family retreat. Tahoe next weekend. Reconnect. His smile was genuine. Oblivious. Evelyn's fork paused. Eyes meeting Leah's across the table, panic veiled as poise. Wonderful, she said. Leah. Join as staff. The invitation was trap and lifeline. Leah nodded. stomach nodding. The retreat. A cabin on the lake. Pine-scented isolation. Perfect for truths. Or disasters. Packing that afternoon. Leah found the journal's photo, creased now, from endless folds. She tucked it into her bag. Talisman against the storm. The drive to Tahoe wound through Sierra pines. The air sharpening with altitude, carrying hints of resin and earth. Elliot drove the Range Rover. Miles chattering from his booster about snow monsters, while Evelyn navigated maps on her tablet. Her free hand occasionally brushing Leah's knee in the back seat, subtle, electric. Leah stared out at granite peaks. Heart a drumbeat of anticipation and dread. The cabin was Elliot's reset button. A sprawling log lodge on Emerald Bay, with a private dock and hot tub steaming against autumn chill. Arrival was a whirlwind, Miles dashing to the shore, skipping stones with glee, Rosa unpacking provisions in the industrial kitchen. Leah claimed a guest room upstairs, window overlooking the lake's turquoise mirror. Evelyn's glance as she passed the doorframe promised later, whispers in the loft. Perhaps under raftered beams. The first day unfolded in orchestrated normalcy. Morning hike to a waterfall. Elliot leading with GPS precision, recounting merger analogies for cascades. Flow or crash, he quipped, earning Miles's giggles. Leah lagged with Evelyn, their fingers linking behind boulders. Quick squeezes of solidarity. Lunch was picnic style. Sandwiches on wildflower meadows. Evelyn feeding Leah grapes when Elliot turned to Miles. Afternoons freed for personal time. Elliot fished from the dock. Rod arcing like a poet's line. Miles napped under quilts. Evelyn and Leah escaped to the rowboat, paddling into mist-shrouded inlets. There, hidden by reeds, they kissed low, savoring the risk. Evelyn's hands sliding under waistbands, breaths mingling with pine-scented wind. I could live like this, Evelyn murmured, head on Leah's lap as they drifted. Just us. And the water. Leah traced her jaw, memorizing the curve. We will. Soon, but doubt lingered. A shadow on the surface. Evening brought board games by the fire. Monopoly twisted into Tech Tycoon Edition. Elliot bankrupting them all with ruthless trades. Laughter rang genuine. Miles crowning Leah best aunt for sparing him from jail. Elliot poured scotch, toasting to found families. His arm around Evelyn casual, oblivious. She leaned into it, but her eyes sought Leah's across the flames, apology and ache. Midnight found Leah in the loft, sketching by candlelight, when footsteps creaked. Evelyn slipped in, nightgown whispering against skin. Can't sleep, she breathed, sliding under the covers. They moved quietly, bodies familiar as brushstrokes. Evelyn's mouth on Leah's breast, stifled moans into pillows. Climax was whispered, a shared secret in the dark. But dawn shattered illusion. Elliot knocked early, coffee in hand. Breakfast run? Join us. Leah. Politeness masked something, eyes lingering on the rumpled bed as Evelyn stirred beside her. Innocent in feigned sleep. Heat flooded Leah's cheeks. Had he seen? The outing was tense. A diner in South Lake Tahoe. Pancakes stacked high. Syrup conversation sticky sweet. Elliot probed Leah's background deeper. RSD. Huh. Ever consider corporate art direction? His tone was mentorly, but underlying assessment. Evelyn deflected with Miles's maple mustache, but the seed planted scrutiny. Back at the cabin, Solitude beckoned. Leah hiked alone to a ridge, sketchpad in pack, drawing twisted junipers against sky. The isolation clarified. This interlude was borrowed time, the retreat a microcosm of their tangled lives. She returned to find Evelyn in the hot tub, steam rising like sighs, Miles splashing nearby under Rose's watch. "Join," Evelyn called, voice light. Leah stripped to swimsuit, sliding in opposite, jets bubbling secrets. Underwater, their feet tangled. A private dance. But Elliot emerged from the house, towels slung low, muscles corded from gym rituals. "Room for one more?" Cantered, settling between. The water crowding. Conversation turned to futures. Elliot's vision for Nexus, quantum leaps in green energy. "Evelyn's the heart," he said, splashing her playfully. "Keeps me ethical," she smiled. But her foot pressed Leah's calf, Morse code for endurance. That night, storm clouds gathered, thunder rumbling like warnings. Dinner was venison stew, candlelit as power flickered. Miles conked out early, tucked in with stories. The adults lingered by the hearth, wine flowing, truths loosening tongues. Elliot refilled glasses, gaze steady on Evelyn. "We've drifted, haven't we? This trip, it's a reminder." He took her hand, kissing knuckles. "I love you. More than the empire." Evelyn's throat worked, eyes glistening. "I know," but her free hand clenched in her lap, nails biting palm. Leah excused herself, fleeing to the porch, rain pattering on tin roof. The lake churned, waves lapping docks like accusations. Footsteps followed Elliot, surprisingly. "You okay?" he asked, leaning on rail. Rain slicked his hair, vulnerability etching lines deeper. "Just overwhelmed," Leah admitted, fogging the chill. "Your world?" "It's vast," he nodded, staring at lightning-veined sky. "Vast and lonely. Evelyn, she's my anchor. But lately, I sense her slipping." Pause. "Heavy. If it's you." Helping her find peace. "Thank you. But if it's more." The unfinished sentence hung, thunder punctuating. Leah's blood iced. "It's not. Save it." Elliot's voice softened, pained. "I see the looks. The touches. I'm not blind, Leah. Just hopeful." He straightened, rain dripping from lashes. "For her sake, be careful. This could break us all." He retreated inside, leaving Leah drenched in more than water. She followed, dripping trails, finding Evelyn in the kitchen, towel drying hair. "What did he say?" Panic etched her whisper. "Enough." Leah's voice cracked. "He knows." Evelyn paled, sinking to a stool. "How?" "Doesn't matter. We end this charade tonight." Evelyn's eyes blazed. "Here?" With Miles asleep upstairs, the argument erupted low. Fierce, whispers hissing over countertops. "You're destroying me," Evelyn accused. "Pushing when I need pull. And you're drowning us in half measures," Leah countered. "I love you enough to want whole." A door creaked. Elliot, silhouette in hall. "Ev? Everything all right?" Evelyn straightened, composing. "Just debating dessert." Go back to the fire. Linger. Then withdrew. The silence after was suffocating. Leah grabbed her jacket. I'm walking. Clear my head. The storm swallowed her. Path mudslick under boots. Lightning illuminated pines like skeletons. Rain stinging skin. She reached the dock. Waves slapping pilings. Tempted to wade in. Let the cold numb the ache. Instead, she sat. Knees to chest. Sobs merging with downpour. Evelyn found her an hour later. Umbrella futile. Dress plastered. Come inside. Please. No fight left. Just plea. They dried by the fire. Elliot retired. Miles oblivious. Words tumbled. Evelyn's terror of custody battles. Financial ruin. Leah's exhaustion with shadows. I can't be the secret anymore, Leah said. Voice breaking. It's killing the art in me. Evelyn nodded. Tears tracking. Then I'll fight. For us. Papers tomorrow, quiet filing. Elliot deserves truth. Dawn broke clear. Lake glass smooth. Breakfast was subdued. Elliot's eyes shadowed. But he ruffled Miles's hair. Kissed Evelyn's temple farewell in gesture. The drive home was quiet. Leah in back with Miles dozing on her shoulder. Evelyn's hand stealing back occasionally. Fingers laced. Back at the estate, Elliot pulled Evelyn aside in the foyer. Leah lingered, eavesdropping from shadows. I know. Ev, he said softly. About Leah. Saw it in Tahoe. Silence stretched. Then Evelyn's voice. Steady. I'm sorry. I love her. Have for years. A beat. I suspected. From college stories. Elliot's tone even. No rage. I want you happy. Even if it's not with me. Relief flooded Leah. Peeking around corner. Elliot continued. We'll co-parent. Fair split. But Leah, she's fire. Don't burn the house down. Evelyn hugged him. Brief. Grateful. Thank you. He nodded. Botting Leah. Take care of her, he said simply. Then walked away. Bag in hand for the airport. Alone. Evelyn turned to Leah. Eyes shining. It's done. Free. They embrace. Tears mingling. The estate vast around them. But as they kissed, deep and promising, Leah glimpsed a figure in the window above, Miles, watching with wide eyes, confusion etching his young face. The cost of freedom laid bare. The divorce filing was a quiet detonation. Papers served in Elliot's Tokyo hotel suite, couriered with a note from Evelyn. For the best future. Grateful always, he responded via email measured. Magnanimous. Joint custody. Asset division equitable. No contest. Miles first, he wrote. Always. The estate, halved in value, became Evelyn's primary residence. A sanctuary now unmoored from empire. Publicly, the split spun as amicable drift, press releases citing mutual focus on family and ventures. Tabloids nibbled, whispers of midlife reinvention, but Nexus stock dipped minimally. Buoyed by Elliot's charisma and interviews, changes innovation's core. Privately, fractures spiderwebbed. Miles withdrew. Nights spent clutching his triceratops. Questions tumbling. Why no more daddy breakfasts? Evelyn fielded them with hugs and honesty scaled for 7. Grown-ups sometimes need space to be better parents. Leah became pillar and phantom. Mornings. She brewed cocoa for Miles, sketching dinosaurs on napkins to coax smiles. Afternoons. Therapy sessions for the boy, Evelyn's insistence, her own counselor unpacking layers of guilt. Evenings belonged to them, Leah and Evelyn, reclaiming the main house room by room. The master suite transformed, Elliot's gadgets boxed, walls repainted soft sage, a king bed where they tangled without clocks ticking judgments. Their love deepened in the aftermath, raw-edged and resilient. Ninth. Evelyn traced Leah's scar, whispering litanies of want. Here, where you bled for me. Leah painted them into frescoes on the boathouse walls, bodies arched in ecstasy, faces anonymized but souls bared. Vulnerability peaked one storm-lashed evening. Evelyn confessing buried shames, the abortion in college, pre-them, a secret heavier than oceans. I thought it made me unlovable, she sobbed into Leah's lap. Leah held her, rocking. It makes you human. My human. The absolution unlocked floods, Evelyn's body yielding in waves, their lovemaking a ritual of healing, fingers and tongues mapping grief to grace. Yet betrayal brewed in shadows. Juliana resurfaced, uninvited, at a charity luncheon in Sausalito. Evelyn attended solo, Leah minding Miles at a park. The text came mid-swing. Jay here. Awkward. Drinks after. Evelyn's reply. Not now, but curiosity or closure drew her. They met at a harborside bistro. Juliana's laugh cutting through clink of glasses. You're glowing, Juliana purred. Martini olive speared. Divorce suits you. Evelyn sipped Chardonnay. Guarded. It's fresh. Complicated. Juliana leaned in. Blonde waves catching light. I could uncomplicate. Remember Tuscany? That villa. Us by the pool. Her hand covered Evelyn's. Thumb stroking. Memories stirred Prilia. A fling in sun-drenched hills. Escape from wedding jitters. Evelyn withdrew. Polite. Ancient history. I'm with someone. Juliana's eyes narrowed. Intrigued. The artist saw her work. Passionate. But volatile. She slid a card across. If it flames out, call. I know steady. The encounter lingered. A burr in Evelyn's conscience. Home. She confessed over dinner. Leah's fork pausing mid-bite. She means nothing, Evelyn assured. Just. Stirred old doubts. Leah's smile was tight. Doubts about us? About me? Worthy of this. Evelyn gestured to the table. Miles humming over mac and cheese. The seed took root. Watered by Miles's custody visits. Elliot's weekends in the city apartment brought regressions. Bedwetting. Clinginess. Don't leave me too, he whimpered one drop off. Arms around Evelyn's neck. She crumbled later. In Leah's arms. Am I selfish? Trading stability for this. Leah's reassurances frayed. Patience thinning. You're brave. We're building something real. Climax crested at the estate's holiday party. A scaled-back affair for staff. Twinkling lights in the courtyard. Leah unveiled a mural. The cliffs at dawn. Figures walking hand in hand toward light. Applause rippled. Theo toasting to new horizons. Evelyn beamed. Kissing Leah's cheek publicly, chaste, but bold. Juliana crashed the gate. Fashionably late in red velvet. champagne flute in hand. Heard about the split. Had to see the phoenix rise. Her hug lingered on Evelyn. Whispers in ear. Leah watched from afar, gut twisting as Juliana's hand trailed Evelyn's arm. Later, by the fire pit, confrontation ignited. "What are you doing here?" Leah hissed. "Low." Juliana smirked, sparks dancing in eyes. "Supporting a friend." "You," Evelyn intervened, pulling Leah aside. "She's leaving." "Ignore." But damage seeped. That night, post-party cleanup. Evelyn's phone buzzed. "Juliana, your artist's intense. Careful she doesn't consume you." Evelyn deleted, but screenshot sent to Leah for transparency. Accusation flew. "Why entertain her?" Leah demanded. "Broom forgotten." "I didn't." "She's a ghost. Ghosts haunt because you let them." Leah's voice rose, echoing an empty hall. Evelyn's temper snapped. "And you? Stalking shadows. Turning molehills to mountains? This paranoia, it's your cage. Not mine." The slap of words stung worse than flesh. Leah stormed to the cottage. Door locked. Painting through tears, abstract rage. Red's bleeding black. Dawn brought Evelyn's plea at the threshold. "Flowers. Note, I choose you. Always." Forgiveness came halting. Over coffee on the bluff. "I'm scared," Leah admitted. "Of losing you to easier paths." Evelyn knelt, hands in hers. "No path's easy without you." Their kiss sealed it. Salt wind sweetened. But betrayal's echo lingered. Weeks later. Anonymous email to Leah. Photos, Evelyn and Juliana. Luncheon embrace. Time-stamped. "She's playing you." The sender blocked. But poison injected. Doubt festered. Leah confronted. Photos thrust like evidence. Evelyn blanched. Fabricated. Or cropped. "I swear." Proof mounted. Hacked text. Innocuous but damning. Leah's trust shattered. Packing bags in fury. "I can't breathe in your half-truths," Evelyn begged. On knees in foyer. "Stay. We'll trace it." Juliana. "Probably." Sabotage. But Leah fled to the city, crashing at an old gallery friend's loft in Dogpatch. Nights blurred in gin and canvases, painting Evelyn's face in torment, eyes pleading, lips parted in denial. Evelyn's calls went unanswered. Voicemails raw. "Come home." Only. Miles's voice chimed in one. "Miss your dragons." Leah. Guilt cracked the wall. Investigation revealed the hacker, Juliana's assistant. Scorned lover. Emailing confessions after firing. Evelyn forwarded it. Vindicated. Leah returned. Estate arms open. Reunion was tempest. Arguments dissolving to passion. Bodies colliding in the foyer. Clothes shed amid scattered leaves. "Never again," Evelyn gasped. Nails raking back. "You're my anchor." In afterglow. Leah whispered. "And you're my storm. Worth every lightning." Healing began anew. Deeper scars forging stronger bonds. But the betrayal's ghost whispered, "Trust. Once broken. Rebuilds on sand." Winter cloaked Marin in mist. The estate a hush of evergreens dusted white. Leah and Evelyn's rhythm steadied. A waltz learned through stumbles, therapy tandem. Sessions unpacking betrayals into blueprints for resilience. Leah's art flourished. A solo show at a Mill Valley co-op. Queer narratives in oil. Women emerging from fog. Hands outstretched. Evelyn attended opening night. Front row. Her presence a quiet thunder. Buying the centerpiece. Two silhouettes bridging chasms. Miles integrated Leah slowly. Ritual cementing bonds. Weekend fossil hunts in Muir Woods. Her stories evolving to include Aunt Leah's adventures. Elliot co-parented seamlessly. Drop-offs cordial. Even inviting Leah to his city holiday party. As family. The olive branch extended. Accepted tentatively. Yet self-doubt gnawed Leah. Nights when Evelyn slept sound. Her mind replayed reels. The scar's origin. Running from Boston rain. Juliana's specter. Am I enough? She journaled. Pages filling with queries. Evelyn discovered one dawn. Reading by lamplight. More than, she murmured, pulling Leah close. Let me show you. Their intimacy evolved. Exploratory toys from discreet shops. Role-play drawing from memories. Vineyard ingenues. Boardroom temptresses. One evening. Blindfolded in the boathouse. Evelyn's whispers guided Leah's hands. Feel me. Not the fears. Surrender brought epiphany. Love as mirror. Reflecting strengths unspoken. Spring thawed barriers. Evelyn launched a foundation. Voss grants for women artists. Leah on advisory board. Nominating underrepresented voices. The launch gala in San Francisco buzzed. Donors mingling with grantees. Evelyn's speech poignant. Creativity heals what contracts cannot. Leah watched. Heart swelling. As Evelyn dedicated it to the woman who painted my way home. Post-gala. In a suite overlooking the bay. Celebration turned confessional. Evelyn uncorked vintage bubbly. Bubbles fizzing like nerves. I want more, she said. Clinking glasses. Not just us. A family. With you. Leah paused. Flute midway. Miles. And perhaps. Another. IVF. Or adoption. Your choice. The proposal landed soft. Revolutionary. Leah's throat tightened. Visions flashing. A child with Evelyn's eyes. Her own wild curls. Playdates amid canvases. Lullabies over cliffs. Yes, she breathed. But slowly. Heal first. Journey inward accelerated. Leah's therapist probed roots. The nomadic childhood. Father's abandonment. Mother's endless shifts. You chase stability in chaos, the counselor noted. Leah applied it. Committing to boundaries. No more midnight doubts unchecked. Evelyn mirrored growth. Journaling her unmothering. The pressure to perfect. Post smiles. I was vessel. Not voice, she shared in session. Together. They hiked Point Reyes trails. Unpacking packs literal and figurative. Picnics laced with laughs over old photos, the journal's treasures. Now framed in the study. Betrayal's aftermath yielded unexpected ally, Elliot. Over coffee in his Sausalito Pie de Terra, minimalist. Sea views he opened. I failed her, he admitted. Stirring espresso. Built empires. Forgot the queen. No bitterness. Just reflection. You make her shine. Grateful. Leah nodded. Guard lowering. She's teaching me too. Grace in fractures. He smiled. Faint. Keep her wild. She needs that. The exchange bridged. Co-parenting easing. Joint birthdays for Miles. Leah orchestrating piñata dragons. Elliot handling the tech toys. Summer solstice marked milestone. A private vow renewal on the bluff. Just them. Miles scattering petals. No rings, tattoos instead. Matching stars on inner wrists. Inked by a queer artist in the Castro. Eternal navigation. Evelyn toasted with chilled rose. Nights post-vow were sacred. Bonfires on the beach. Evelyn's head on Leah's lap. Guitar strums to folk tunes. Leah composed lyrics. Tentative. From secrets to stars. We chart the dark. Evelyn hummed along. Voice harmony. But self-realization demanded solo voyages. Leah solo exhibited in New York, a week in Chelsea galleries, crashing with RISD alums. Absence amplified longing. Daily texts. Evelyn's Miss Your Chaos. Leah's sketches of Manhattan grit. Emailed as love letters. Return brought airport dash Evelyn waiting. Sign. My wild returns. Reunion ignited. Home unpacked in the foyer. Bags forgotten. Bodies urgent against walls. Tell me everything, Evelyn demanded later. Fingers tracing new city scuffs on Leah's knees. Missed you more, Leah confessed. Realized. I'm home in you. Not places. Evelyn's tears fell. Joyful. Then let's build ours. Fertility talks progressed. Consultations in San Francisco clinics. Options weighed, sperm donors anonymous. Carriers vetted. Evelyn's excitement bubbled. But Leah's caution tempered. Heal the inner child first. Therapy deepened. Leah confronting abandonment echoes. Emerging with affirmations. I am worthy. Whole. Fall harvest brought grounding. Estate you pick apples. Miles in overalls. Leah pressing cider in the barn. Evelyn joined. Flour dusted from pie making. Kissing Leah amid bushels, tart sweet. Domestic bliss. Yet climax loomed in quiet betrayal's echo. Anonymous package arrived, USB drive. Labeled truth. Leah plugged it in. Alone in studio videos. Evelyn and Juliana. Post-luncheon. In a hotel bar. Hands touching. Laughs intimate. Timestamp. After their reconciliation. Heart plummeted. Audio crackled. Leah's passionate. But exhausting. Evelyn's voice. Slurred. Juliana. Come to me. No drama. Leah confronted that evening. Drive trembling in hand. Evelyn watched. Face draining. Fabricated. Deepfake voice match. But not me. Skepticism ward with wound. Why Juliana again? Evelyn's plea. Hire investigators. Prove it. They did. Digital forensics firm confirming AI tampering. Source traced to Juliana's ex-assistant. Grudge-fueled vendetta. Closure came in court, restraining order. Juliana's apology letter. Jealousy blinded. Sorry for the pain. Evelyn burned the drive. Ashes scattered to sea. No more ghosts, she vowed. Leah's healing crested. A canvas series. Resurrections. Figures rising from ash. Colors vibrant. Sold out. Reviews praising raw humanism. Winter solstice circled back. Family expanded. Elliot joining for Miles's 8th birthday, cake smeared. Gifts unwrapped. To Leah. Privately. You've given her life back. Thank you. She nodded. Throat full. We all heal together. As snow dusted cliffs. Leah and Evelyn walked arm in arm. Miles ahead tossing snowballs. Self-realization settled. Love not conquest. But companionship and growth. The new year dawned crystalline. resolutions etched in frost on the estate's panes. Leah's journey inward culminated in a manuscript, sketches interwoven with prose, cliffside confessions, a memoir of their odyssey. Evelyn edited late nights. Red pen gentle. Her pride a warm hearth. This will touch souls. Like you touched mine. Publication whispers grew. A small press in Berkeley. Queer forward. Offering advance enough for a down payment on Point Reyes land. A wildflower meadow. Studio barn in plans. Excitement hummed. Tempered by Miles's school play. He is tree sprite. Leah costuming leaves from felt. Evelyn filming every bough. Elliot's visits normalized. Evolving to quarterly dinners, for adults now. Toasting Miles's report cards over Oso Buco. Conversations veered philosophical. Legacy beyond ledgers. Love as algorithm of choice. You two redefined parameters, he quipped once. Earning laughs. Leah saw the man unarmored, wounds his own. A quiet dating app profile Evelyn teased. Spring bloomed with decisions, IVF greenlit. Donor selected, anonymous. Traits neutral to honor their blend. Consults brought levity. Evelyn joking mini-mess incoming. Leah sketching ultrasound phantoms. But vulnerability peaked in waiting rooms. Hands clasped against what-ifs. Betrayal's final echo silenced in therapy's closure. Joint session affirming boundaries. Trust as muscle rebuilt daily. You've arrived, the counselor said. Not perfect. But present. Summer solstice revisited. Meadow plot staked. Architect's renderings unrolled on picnic blanket. Miles helped with sticks as surveying tools. Declaring castle for dragons. Evelyn's eyes on Leah sparkled. Our fortress. Art propelled forward. Leah's TEDx invite. Painting the invisible. Love in the margins. Stage fright battled. Evelyn coaching rehearsals in the boathouse. Prompts gentle. Applause simulated with claps and whoops. Delivery soared. Voice steady. Slides of their mural evoking gasps. Backstage. Evelyn's kiss. You slayed. Fall harvest yielded first crops from the estate's expansion. Orchard apples pressed into Leah's label. Wild heart cider. Launch party intimate. Staff. Elliot. Gallery friends. Toast to resilience. Miles toasting to Aunt Leah's magic juice. Winter whispered endings and beginnings. Pregnancy confirmed. Evelyn's cycle. Embryo viable. Ultrasound heartbeat thrummed like applause. Leah's hand on belly. Hello. Little storm. News shared circumspect. Elliot first. Hug surprising. Uncle duties await. Publicly. A blog post. Expanding our circle. Challenges arose. Morning sickness sidelining Evelyn. Leah stepping into foundation duties. Grant reviews. Artist mentorships. Her own doubts surfaced. Can I mother this? Journaling unearthed affirmations. Therapy reinforcing. You've healed enough to hold. Climax crested in quiet crisis. Nor'easter lashing cliffs. Power out. Miles feverish. Leah held fort. Stories by lantern. Broth simmered on camp stove, while Evelyn rallied Dr. Housecall. Storm passed. Fever broke. Bond fortified. Miles's whisper. You and Mom make team unbeatable. Resolution bloomed in spring's thaw. Meadow home groundbreaking. Shovels in soil. Miles in mini hard hat. Elliot operating mini excavator for flair. That night. Under stars. Leah and Evelyn slow danced on raw earth. Radio crooning Carol's soundtrack. I was terrified that interview day, Evelyn murmured. Cheek to cheek. You walking in. Secret bared. Thought you'd run. Leah smiled. Swing. Almost did. But you pulled me home. Their kiss deepened. Hands on bellies swell life's promise. Doubts dissolved in certainty. Love as journey. Not destination flawed. Fear. Enduring. Years later. The memoir published to acclaim. Tours to bookstores where fans shared stories mirroring theirs. Miles. Teen now. Rolled eyes at the origin tale, but hugged tight. Glad you stayed. Aunt L. Elliot remarried. Quiet ceremony. To a physicist with kind eyes. Evelyn toasting to equations solved. Leah's scars faded. Not gone. Reminders of falls. Flights taken. Evelyn's silver-threaded fuller. Laugh lines maps of joy. On anniversary cliffs. 10th since vows they scattered petals. Miles now artist in training sketching beside. To secrets turned stories, Evelyn raised glass. To us, Leah echoed. Eyes locked green on hazel. Storms calmed. The estate below glowed. A beacon against fading light. No regrets. Only ripples of what was. Waves of what would be. Love. Humanistic in its mess. Healing not erasure. But embrace of the whole.